What's up, agents? Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. And today I'm going to address the craziness that's been going on in our industry, the results of the NAR settlement, and my thoughts on the best way to do business in 2024 so that your real estate business doesn't go up in flames this year. Now, just in case you've been living under a rock and you have no idea what's happening right now, there's been a huge lawsuit that alleged that the NAR, real estate brokers, and local multiple listing services conspired to obligate sellers to pay buyer agents commissions. And this lawsuit has since been settled, and the NAR has agreed to pay $418 million in damages and eliminate the cooperative commission rule, which obligated sellers to pay the buyer agent's commission in addition to the seller's agent's commission. In other words, buyers will be responsible for paying their own agents, increasing their closing costs unless negotiated otherwise. But because this is national news, buyer agency is going to take a huge hit this year because sellers are not going to want to pay buyer agents commissions whether you're an MLS participant or not. And with housing being as expensive as it is, buyers are not going to want the increased closing costs by working with an agent either. Now, there's talk of sellers' concessions and buyers being able to tie their agent's commission into their loan, but the jury's still out on whether or not lenders are actually willing to do that. And sellers don't typically like sellers' concessions because it makes them feel like they're leaving money on the table, and when supply and demand is in their favor, they're never going to go for that. So, all of this considered, I'm not going to butter it up for you. A lot of agents are going to get hurt by this, and they're going to drop out of the business this year. And the sad thing is, even though this is an attack on real estate agents, it's buyers who are going to suffer the most as a result of this. Buying a home is already incredibly expensive and difficult, and if buyers barely can afford to purchase a home right now, how are they going to be able to afford to pay for their own professional representation? Not to mention navigate a complex transaction on their own when they haven't done so in a while, or they've never even done it before, let alone have an opportunity to make an offer on a home before it's gone. Now, I could go on and on about how these changes negatively impact the public, but the purpose of this video is to talk about how these changes are going to affect real estate agents directly. And the truth is that the time of the average agent has come to an end, and it's been a long time coming. Real estate agent commission has been under fire since I got into this business 18 years ago. And now with the price of housing being so expensive, it's all finally coming to a head. Now, agents everywhere are freaking out about this right now, and listen, I totally get it. Big changes always create fear in people because of the unknown, but keep in mind that with big change comes big opportunity. And if you're a hard-working agent and you take your business seriously, these changes are the best thing that ever happened to you and our industry. Let me explain. Everyone and their mother has their real estate license, but very few agents are actually worth the money that they make. The truth is that our industry is plagued with weak agents that don't put any real effort into their business or provide the best service to their client. And because of this, there's always scrutiny around agent commission, and it's been killing our reputation for decades. And these agents are taking market share away from the real professionals out there. And if you're one of these real professionals, then you know exactly how frustrating it is when you have to defend yourself in your profession because of someone else's bad experience with an unprofessional agent. But after these changes take effect, most of these weaker agents are going to end up dropping out of the business this year. You see, these weaker agents pick up very few listings each year if they're lucky, and they make a living off of working with buyers who don't have to pay their commission because the seller's doing it for them. But now that buyer agency is becoming much more difficult, these agents are not skilled enough, nor are they going to make enough money this year to justify staying in the business unless they take the time to actually master their craft. Now, some agents will do that this year, and I respect the hell out of that. But the sad truth is that the vast majority of these agents won't do that because they're not willing to step out of their comfort zone or invest in themselves and their business. And the bottom line is you can't expect to build a successful business if you're not willing to invest in it first. The point I'm trying to make to you is if you're a serious agent and you really want to succeed, there's going to be a ton of market share on the table for you to take this year. And keep in mind that in a tough market, it's the agents that stick it out and continue to grow and nurture their network that come out the other end extremely wealthy when the market turns around. If you ever come across an agent who stuck it out after the market crashed in 2008, the chances are high that they ended up killing it when they came out of that recession, and they've probably been killing it ever since. And that's simply because of the sacrifices that they were willing to make, and I guarantee you that the situation we're in right now is no different. Now, although there's going to be a lot of resistance from buyers this year, it's still going to be really difficult for them to have an opportunity to make an offer on a home before it's gone. So they're still going to need to work with an agent if they want to be successful. So there still is opportunity to work with buyers this year, but you need to keep a couple things in mind. First of all, don't spend any time with a buyer unless they sign a buyer-broker agreement first. Now, this is a really good thing because you're not going to have to waste your time on flaky buyers anymore, which is a much more efficient use of your time. Second, your buyers are going to need to go through a bit of failure first before they're willing to work with an agent. The best buyers to target this year are the ones that have been at it for a little while and they keep striking out. But you're really going to need to dig into these pain points and use a bit of finesse if you want to convince a buyer to pay your commission and work with you. But here's the thing. You really shouldn't be spending much of your time working with buyers before or after these changes, because this game has always been about getting listings, and now that's more important than ever. At the end of the day, people still need to work with agents to sell their houses because of how time-consuming and complicated the process is. Not to mention that selling your home for top dollar is a numbers game, and realtors still bring the demand. So, I'm sure you're scratching your head right now and you're thinking, how the hell am I going to get enough listings this year to compensate for the lack of buyer transactions? Well, you have a few options. You can use cold calling and door knocking to try to find potential sellers one at a time. You can pay for leads, which I definitely do not recommend, especially now that buyer agency is dead and these paid leads are usually buyer leads. Or you can condition your sphere of influence to bring you business and leverage social media to build brand authority in your local market and develop new relationships which you can nurture every single day. Now, if you follow me, then you know, in my opinion, the latter is the most efficient way to do business, and it's the most enjoyable and sustainable way to do business. Because picking up listings is a numbers game, and there's no better way to reach a large audience faster than with social media, period. So if you don't want your business to go up in flames in 2024, then stop focusing on the NAR settlement and buyer agency compensation and just focus on lead generation, setting listing appointments, and getting sellers to sign a contract with you. I promise everything else will fall into place if you do this. Now, if you're struggling to get listings or bring in new business consistently every single month, and the last thing you want to do is cold call, door knock, or spend thousands of dollars a month on leads, then like and subscribe or whatever people do on YouTube, and make sure you follow me right here on Instagram and go through all my past and future content. And if you want to book a one-on-one discovery call with me so you can learn more about how we can build a customized plan for you and your business this year, then all you have to do is click the link in the description. That's all for now. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one.